Today I'm here with Mili Shams. She is a patient of Dr. Ming Wu at FengYang Taoist Chinese Medicine. She was diagnosed with tongue cancer at age 33. This is her story. Hi Mili, how are you?
Hi Judy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming on and sharing your amazing story here. Yeah, can
Thanks
you
for
share
having me.
a bit about your condition and what happened exactly before you met Dr. Wu?
I got diagnosed with head and neck cancer, squamous cell carcinoma. That was back in January of 2020. I had my surgery done. This was all before I met Dr. Wu. I had surgery done, and after the surgery, a couple of weeks after, radiation and chemo. And then I was done around, so surgery in February, then I would say May, I was done with the treatment. Probably like end of July, my cancer came back again.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was
So,
like everything they could do, they did. The surgery, like a very high dose of chemo, radiation, everything was done, whatever they could. July, I had to schedule another surgery. So I had another surgery to remove that cancerous part from my tongue. The first surgery, they removed the tumor, but then it happened again. So they had to remove it again. But the second time was actually more difficult because I already had a treatment. So it was a bigger risk to do that. So after the surgery, I was recovering and until like December. In December again, I noticed another spot that came.
right.
At this point, we already did 2 surgeries, radiation and chemo. I kind of exhausted my options
Yeah, that
as
sounds
far
like.
as that. Yeah.
So, how long
Um,
was the total length of all this treatment that you did with the radiation and the chemo? What was the total length that you did plus the two surgeries?
so I started in February with my first surgery. I ended in, I believe, beginning of the May
Of last year,
of 2020.
of 2020. Okay. Wow.
Then, the second surgery, it was July. So I would say all the treatment that I did with the second surgery, I ended July, end of July. Um, and then in December, the cancer came back again. And that's when I discussed with my doctors what, I could do. What is the option this time?
Mhm.
And they were thinking maybe, they said they definitely need to see me. And we scheduled to go to New York in about 2 weeks and see them. The doctor said, don't worry, we'll figure out something. And we're thinking about possibly immunotherapy. But they said if you decide to do immunotherapy, you would have to move to New York for about 2 years, from my understanding. Yeah.
What were some of the side effects that you had with all this treatment that you did?
Um, oh my God, it was terrible. It was probably one of the hardest things that I've ever done.
Yeah.
Mainly radiation and chemo. I did it together at the same time.
Hmm.
So from radiation, since it's head and neck, basically it burned my entire mouth and my throat.
Oh no.
So I
Yeah.
couldn't eat. I couldn't eat anything. And then, the chemo didn't help because on top of that, I was feeling nauseous and
Right.
um, like very weak, exhausted all the time.
Mhm.
During my treatment, I couldn't even walk. When my husband would drop me off for the treatment, because this was during the COVID as well.
Oh wow. So
So
everything
I
was
couldn't
compounded.
have any support with me. My husband would just have to drop me off for the
Right.
treatment and then pick me up afterwards. And he would have to pick me up afterwards. And we had to use wheelchair just to get to the treatment most of the days.
Didn't you say you also lost like 70 pounds during this whole treatment process?
Mm-hmm. correct. I lost about 70 pounds altogether.
Yeah.
I was like basically skin and bones after the treatment was done. I was very weak. I had no energy. I could
Right.
barely walk. Yeah. I was the treatment itself, I don't think there was a way. That's just how it's basically designed to kill your good and bad cells. So it basically
Right.
kills your body, but they say, you will recover afterwards.
Right.
In a way, I was blessed that my treatment was managed properly. And then, I still had a chance to do something else afterwards.
So take me to the place where you had your turning point. I mean, what was your mindset at that point when you've been doing all these different Western medicine treatments with radiation and chemo and surgery and nothing was working? You had really difficult side effects. So what was the turning point that made you look for other options?
So before, I agreed that the tumor had to be removed for the surgery, but before I even started chemo and radiation, I went back and forth with the doctors. It just never felt like that was it in my heart.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately at that time, I didn't know about any other options. I didn't know about traditional Chinese medicine.
Right.
I didn't know what to do. So I spoke to my oncologist and, I told her how I feel. Is there a way what was her opinion if I do decide to just leave it alone and do the surgery? They said most likely the cancer will come back very soon. And they told me, we'll get you through this. It has to be done. You have to do it. It'll be probably one of the hardest things that you'll do, but you'll get through it. So somehow I feel like I did it because at that time there was no other options. Like, what do you do?
Right.
It just never felt right. But after to get back to your question, after the third time, when it happened in December, after that, I just felt, I was like, okay, this is not just taking care of it. There's something causing this to come back. It just, I guess it was meant to be that someone shared Dr. Wu's video.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Documentary, actually. Yeah.
Oh, the Who Am I documentary?
Who Am I? Yes.
Yeah,
And I
that's a good
highly
one.
recommend that for everyone to watch. It explains it more in detail.
Great.
Everything works. Yeah. And
So when did you seek help from Dr. Wu then?
so we saw the documentary, me and my husband, and I just felt that was it in my heart and decided that I need to speak to Dr. Wu. And we called him in end of December and scheduled it to go see him at the same time when I had appointment scheduled with my oncologist and the surgeon. So I saw him beginning of January, right after the New Year, I think the first week of 2021. But so we called him at first and told him, that we're looking to speak with him. Someone else picked up. It was the call center, and Dr. Wu called us pretty quickly. Like the next day, we called in the evening. He called us, and
That's awesome. Yeah.
without even seeing me, he gave me advice and told me, don't worry. Before you see me, what you have to do is stop dairy and soy. That's causing the cancer to come back.
Right.
So I stopped all the dairy and soy immediately.
So he recommended to change your entire diet pretty immediately then. No dairy,
Yeah,
no
he said do that immediately. And once you come to see me, I'll examine you and we'll talk more about, what has to be done. But the first step was to stop all the dairy and soy immediately.
I know.
Because then
You know how many people love cheese?
we definitely love, especially Europeans, we love cheese, but
I like cheese too. But wow. Okay, so it was an entire revamp of your nutrition and diet, and what else did he offer as a treatment?
So when I went to see him, that spot was actually like fainting. It was disappearing. He examined me, and Dr. Wu explained to me that basically what's causing all of this, they call it cancer, but in traditional Chinese medicine, they see it different way. It's imbalance, in the body. And in my case, my body was too cold, too much dampness and that's what happened. So when you eat dairy or soy, that makes it much worse. And with the fast life and improper diet.
Yeah, no, I understand. So he basically switched your diet and nutrition. Did he also offer you that herbal formula that you were drinking?
He did. And he actually customized it for me. He
Right.
didn't give it to me right away. He sent it to me when I went back home. Um, it was a herbal formula that Dr. Wu, the difference with, Chinese medicine and regular medicine is that they see it as a way that everybody is different, not one thing works for everyone. How all the patients are in modern way, they're treated with chemotherapy and radiation, same thing, for everyone. But
Right.
in Chinese medicine, it's based on what your body needs. It has to be balanced in order, to be healthy. So he customized the formula for me. And at the appointment, he did the tuina,
Oh yeah,
which is
Tuina is a great massage therapy. I mean, it's more
it's
than that.
amazing.
It's acupressure as well, but it's phenomenal how they really target the meridian points, you know?
Yeah, and it opens up your whole body. I felt so much better after. He did fire cupping as well.
Oh wow.
And I went to do that about every month or two for a year with Dr.
Right.
Wu. And I took the herbs for about a year until I came to the point that he didn't think I need them anymore. He said, "You're doing well." He didn't just, I feel like he didn't help me heal, but he also told me how to know who am I when something goes wrong, how to fix it with the herbs, and how to change my diet to eat healthy. And before, I used to kind of like, just every time I would go for my appointments, when they would give me bad news, that would be a hot mess,
Yeah, yeah.
that would be a hot mess,
Yeah, yeah.
crying. Oh my God. But he told me how to, like when your mind is healthy, he also
Yes.
advises a Qigong to
Yeah.
a lot of patients that helps, especially patients that are healing after chemotherapy. So I did take that as well. When your mind works and your body is healthy, like you don't feel the same way. It's hard to explain. Before, I felt like I depended on that treatment, versus
Right.
now I'm okay. I'm
Yeah.
okay. Like it doesn't mean that I'm like perfectly, things don't happen, I never get sick. No, of course not. But what he told me, he gave me knowledge how to take
Right.
care of myself.
Yeah, I think Dr. Wu is excellent in empowering yourself and your self healing. I think that's a part that most people don't think about when they're ill. And he gives you these tools of tuina and the cupping, herbal
Mm-hmm.
teas. And I think he's equipped you and he obviously diagnosed you as well. But it's amazing that he just gives you these tools that you can use and you're able to heal yourself through that. What is your thought as far as like experiencing the first half of your treatment versus the Chinese medicine with Dr. Wu? I mean, the disparity is so great. How take me in your mind of what you're thinking and feeling about that.
It's amazing. It doesn't even feel you cannot compare it. The traditional treatment, it just drains your body, takes good and bad out of you, everything. When I came to see him, like I couldn't even get up from the bed. Basically
Wow.
my husband would have to help me. All of my energy was gone. I was pale. I lost about 70 pounds, but that's the only option that we know right now. A lot of people, that's the only option they know as a treatment. versus when I went to see Dr. Wu,
Mhm.
it was, it cannot compare. Like I was able to stay at home, no appointments every day, versus when I had radiation, like 35 rounds of radiation every day, plus the
Yeah.
chemotherapy, driving back and forth, the recovery after the surgery. It's just, it's very hard to explain. With the Chinese medicine, you get to stay home, your body is healing, you start feeling better.
Yeah.
I was finally in the morning, like I could get up on my own,
Wait.
take a walk, did some Qigong.
Yeah.
I signed up for his classes. He teaches classes on through Facebook. Those are like amazing for patients that are going through recovery process.
I kind of want to get to, I don't know what you call it, this nugget of, isn't it amazing that you went through years of chemotherapy and radiation surgery, and it made your body worse and you suffered more. And then you went to more of a holistic approach with Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Wu, and he gave you natural remedies and herbal teas and herbal fusions and Tuina. I don't think people understand the profound healing effects of Tuina. I mean, I've used Tuina personally as well, but it's amazing
Mm-hmm.
how something like that is so profound and so effective in healing your body. I mean, it's the whole thing with the energy channels is very real in life, and people don't recognize that as much. What would you say to most people that are going through something similar to you?
I would say, not to feel scared. I feel like that's the hardest part, not
Yeah,
knowing what will happen, and do not rush. Do your research. Do your research, because whatever goes into your body, you need to feel confident and you need to know that there's a reason why you're doing that. The conventional treatments, a lot of times, even if you have, amazing doctors that really care about quality of life, afterwards, which I did have, but they have actually no power to control those side effects. Like it happens. I feel like people are scared to try something different.
yes,
But
we
if you
are.
think about it, the Chinese medicine has been, it's ancient medicine. It has been there for thousands of years.
Yeah,
People have used it. I feel like we changed things to be faster, better, and we started doing different things, different approach, but we forgot what we used before. This was used for years and it really works. But the main thing is when you decide to do this kind of treatment, you have to believe. You cannot just take the herbs for a couple of days and be like, okay, this is not working.
right.
You have to believe. You have to do your part. Dr. Wu is there to guide you, to
Right.
help. At the end, you need to take control of your own life. You need to make that change, for the diet change. Take the herbs, do the exercise. He can give you all the tools, but you have to do it. A lot of times I see patients, they're afraid to make that change. They start the chemo, but then the chemo is not working, so now they want to start the Chinese medicine, but you do it for a week and you're scared, you still go back to your doctor. You
Yeah.
have to really, I know it's hard because I've been through it, but you have to decide, make that decision. And I would say if you're going to see doctor, would trust him. That trust is very important because he knows, just like the doctors, when they give you chemo, they have data like what worked, what didn't work. So that's he does as well. He has case studies. He has a lot of patients, so he will not do something that will hurt you.
I
He's
actually
trying to help.
Yeah, I actually heard that he doesn't take just anyone either. He doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
He's told me that I don't just take any patient. I mean, he really empowers you to self-heal and puts the
Exactly.
responsibility on you. He puts all responsibility on you. Your lifestyle, your choices,
Mm-hmm.
your diet, nutrition, your activity, everything you do. So it's really quite enlightening in some ways and refreshing, because the Western medicine is more prescribing you with medication and putting you in a template formula, like what you said. And he's all
Mhm.
about personalizing your healing process and what you need based on your body needs. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Millie, do you have any words for Dr. Wu or anyone else?
For Dr. Wu, there's no words that I can explain.
Are you, oh my gosh, are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, Millie. Yeah, I can tell you're really touched.
Uh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like you have obviously very grateful, right?
Yeah, I'm beyond grateful. He didn't just help me heal, but he passed down this knowledge to me that
Yeah,
now I can pass down to my children, so to make
yeah,
sure that they don't have to go through what I went through.
yeah. Yeah, you have a beautiful story, Millie, and we really appreciate you sharing this hardship and how you overcame tongue cancer. I mean, it's not something that people would want ever or want to experience. And I'm very happy that you were able to find Dr. Wu to help you and help
Mm-hmm.
you continue your life in a very positive and healing way. And I think your story is going to help affect a lot of people because I think the average American doesn't really know there's options like this. And if their life is on the line, what do?
Mm-hmm.
When you keep trying something
Exactly.
over and over again and it's not helping, if anything, it's diminishing you. And I think this is why I think your story is going to be very impactful. And when people hear you, they're going to realize this is the real deal and to open up to other alternative options like Chinese medicine. There's definitely an educational process because the mainstream does not advertise this whatsoever.
Because honestly, in today's world, everything is everything is about money, right? If
Yes, it's
everybody
true.
did what Dr. Wu does, like
Right,
how that doesn't really benefit them, you know? If you go to doctor, they put you on pills, so you have to come every month. Not every doctor, of course, there are exceptions, but that's mainly how it works. With
right,
Chinese medicine, you learn how to heal, how to
right,
listen to your body. And it was not just that I learned it, I was able to pass this knowledge down to my family.
right.
So it's been ever since I saw Dr. Wu, we don't have, he's our primary care. Like they asked me, who's your primary care doctor? I'm like, I don't have one
Right.
because
That's awesome.
he,
Yeah,
you know, like he told me how to heal.
right,
We all got very sick last year in the winter. We got very sick, and we had all the symptoms of COVID, but we don't test, so we just stayed at home. And I was able to use the herbs and healing soups and food for us to recover. Me, my husband, and my children.
right.
It was amazing being able to rest instead of rushing back and forth from doctors' offices.
Yeah,
My son, when he was little, he had breathing problems. Dr. Wu helped me. He told me how to take care of him. He never
right,
said, bring him. He said, you as a mother, I'll give you
right.
the tools, the best how to do this. There's been multiple times, like I said, just because I went and, with Chinese medicine, it doesn't mean that we don't get sick, nothing happens.
Right.
But the main thing is, how to take care of yourself. Like when
Yeah,
we travel,
yeah,
I'm not worried, if there's a hospital or not. I take my herbs with me.
yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, no, definitely Dr. Wu teaches you and equips you with the knowledge and the tools so you can self-care and self-heal. And yeah, that's definitely amazing. We're coming to an end here. Do you have anything else you'd like to share?
I probably have a lot of things I'll remember later, but
Yeah,
I think I would, encourage people to be open-minded. That's the reason I wanted to share my story, because at the time, even though I was looking for different things, I didn't know for Chinese medicine and these options. That's another thing, like always educate yourself.
Right.
Be open-minded, educate yourself. I feel like we're in the time that we have access to internet, to a lot of things that people didn't have before. It's easy to learn. Be open-minded and don't think that just, the options that everybody does, that's the only thing that works. Not necessarily. I feel like we have changed with the lifestyle and, fast lifestyle, fast food, that it's affecting our health. Try with a little change, like the things that I changed in my life is, like I said, no dairy, no soy, no sugar, no processed food. Change your diet. Take the time to prepare that meal, because honestly, if you don't take the time now, you think you're too busy, later on you will not have a choice.
No, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I remember Dr. Wu would say the reason why there's so much stress and disease is because we don't know how to slow down. I mean, I
Exactly.
interviewed him and he was very clear on that. Well, thank you so much, Millie. It was wonderful to
Mm-hmm.
talk to you. I can tell it was very moving and touching, and
Mm-hmm.
how he has really impacted your life and helped you on your healing process. And thank you so much for sharing this. And we will
No, thank
definitely,
you. Yeah, and
yeah,
thank you, Dr. Wu.
okay, we will definitely show him this video. Thanks, Millie.
Thank you, Judy. Bye.